Are y'all ready for this?
It's a vibe.
Yes.
Hey! Welcome to the Wisniewski Report, guys. I'm here with two of my favorite two of my favorite co-hosts. So, what's going on, guys?
Not much.
No, not too much really yet.
I hear you on that one. I was just looking at the weather report for us tomorrow. We got a cold front coming through. The past
Okay.
couple weeks, we've been running air conditioner.
Mm.
Now back
And
to the heat.
we got a heat wave coming through here.
Yeah, it's got away.
Only in Texas. I'm telling you,
Uh,
only in Texas. We got a saying down here: if you don't like the weather, stick around. It changes.
Yes.
don't let the weather wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
Exactly. I just had some breaking news come through.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
The Rams are releasing Bobby Wagner.
Really?
Oh, surprise.
Yeah.
Well, with the way they've been going this year, I'm not shocked at all. They've been kind of like a letdown, the whole season with the Super Bowl hangover and whatnot. So you figured they had to release him, one of your best players. So that's not surprising at all.
The Rams
Yeah.
got to do something. The Rams have to do something in order
They should.
in order to get back to where they were.
Well, that's the problem with renting players. Buying a championship like that is that. Ugh, I'm gonna do this. Drive me like one of your French girls.
Uh-huh. I was gonna say move back to St. Louis, but that won't work. Okay. So
No.
But the problem with buying a championship like that and doing it like that is that you have no salary cap room the next year in the next couple of years.
right.
And so they have to shed salary, and a guy like Bobby Wagner is old, right? And he's long in the tooth and hasn't been a key contributor over the last couple of years. Obviously, I think he'll get re-signed somewhere. I think he'll end up, maybe Buffalo. I could see him ending up in Buffalo or maybe KC
All right.
or Detroit. I could see him, and up maybe Jacksonville. I could say every team, but with his veteran presence and his leadership, I definitely think he'll end up somewhere next year. Just don't know where yet.
I do
Yeah,
too. I agree with Adam. I see him going somewhere, but
question is where?
I don't see him being unsigned for very long.
Yeah.
No, because
Does he have a shot with the Jets?
Because Wagner is a great player. The problem with him is his age.
Yeah, he's 34, I believe.
34, 35. So what team?
That's borderline. That's borderline.
What team's actually going to take a chance on a 35-year-old linebacker?
Right.
Yeah.
And definitely, he's had some injury issues over the years. So if you are going to bring him in, you want to bring him in on a deal, and what kind of money is he gonna command? Because obviously he's not going to get 15 to 20 million, but will he be under 8 or over 8? And how many contributing years does he have left?
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't sign him more than maybe 2 years at 2 years.
That's what I was thinking.
2 years.
2 years, $7 million.
Yeah.
I was thinking 2 years, 15.
Because when you get to that age, you don't have a lot of stamina left in you, in the NFL. So probably 2 years is going to be the maximum for him anyway.
But the reason why I'm saying I signed him to 2 years because, if you can get him cheap, like 7 to 15 mil a year,
right?
Let him play 2 years and let him help your rookie linebacker that's coming in. Let him mentor the young man. Say, hey, this is how you do this. You don't do this. You do that. Help coach this young kid.
Yeah. And then what you can do is help him to transition off, either into a broadcasting role or a coaching role, giving him some opportunities to be more of a player coach and letting him, if that's something he'd like to pursue in the future, is learning how to put together a game plan and
Exactly. Well, we're going to look at the NFC East rookie grades, but I was going through NFL.com and I found 32 teams, which, that surprised me because I didn't think they would have it out this soon. I thought, it'd be later towards the draft or, somewhere around that time frame, but having it out this early, that's a shocker.
That is.
Lou, you already know the answer to this one, so don't say nothing.
All right.
Adam, what team got the number one ranking and the best grade out of all 32 teams? This is going to shock you.
Seattle? Surprised it's not Seattle. They had a great draft. Who was it?
The Jets.
Okay, I can't argue with that. They had a great draft.
Number round. First round, they took Sauce Gardner, which he played 17 games and had 17 starts.
And he was a positive contributor in all 17 games. So definitely can't argue with that.
Y'all found a diamond in the rough right there in Sauce Gardner, man.
Yeah.
I think they found a diamond in a diamond mine. Because, when he went third or fourth overall, you expect
Sauce Gardner. He went number 4 in the first round.
That's what I thought. When you draft a guy that high, you're expecting him to be a diamond in the diamond mine.
Yes.
Garrett Wilson wasn't too bad neither.
No, he wasn't. What, 12th overall?
10th.
10th. Yeah, he was excellent.
If the Jets can
reasonable.
If the Jets can get a good quarterback in there,
easier said than done.
They need to get a quarterback they need stability at the quarterback position.
Unfortunately, the Jets don't know the meaning of stability before it comes to quarterbacks.
Right now, we're going to split this up into 2 weeks, guys. First of all, we're going to do the NFC.
Yeah.
Then the next week, we're going to finish it out with the AFC. So first NFC team is the Detroit Lions. Their rookie class grade is an A-, which I can agree with that because look what they did in the draft. They got Adrian Hutchinson. Yeah. He played 17 games and he started all 17 games.
And it was a key contributor in all 17 games.
And he was.
Yes, he was.
And he was drafted number 2 in the first round.
And he was expected to be a number. He performed to his draft pick.
Yeah, he did. And then they had Jameson Williams, which 6 games, but he didn't have any starts.
Right, he came in late. He was hurt. He came off an ACL injury, I believe, and he was at Alabama. So he was rehabbing the ACL, but he played great in the 6 games he did play in.
Yeah, he did. He was took number 12 in the first round.
Okay.
Round 2, they picked up Josh Pascal.
Okay.
He 10 games, 4 starts.
Right. Not, the thing about a second round. What position was he?
46.
What position did he play?
Defensive end.
Right. When you draft a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, the next guy, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for the other guys to get on the field. So, 10 games, 4 starts. That's pretty good.
Then in round 3, with the 97th pick, they picked up Kirby Joseph.
Huh.
17 games, 14 starts.
And he was a corner, right?
Safety.
Safety. Okay.
Yeah. Safety.
Again, that's a pick that I would consider a diamond in the rough. 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys that you hope that you're hitting a home run, but you'll settle for a double.
Exactly.
Or triple.
Then
Some
with
people
the
are just
5th
born
round,
on third base.
the 5th round with the 177th pick, they picked up James Mitchell, tight end, 14 games, 0 starts.
Right, because he was behind Hawkinson until they sent Hawkinson to Minnesota. So again, a later round pick, you're not expecting huge things from, but when you get contributions, then that's great.
Yes.
Then in the 6th round with the 188th pick, they picked up Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker. He 16 games, 15 starts.
That's excellent. It kind of, unfortunately for a guy like that, it probably means that somebody else got hurt. So, kind of one of those.
Yeah.
And also in the 6th round with the 217th pick, they picked up James Houston, outside linebacker. 7 games to
He'll be back.
There he is. Okay.
I hit the wrong
Where was
button.
I at? Oh,
Sorry about that.
Again?
Always.
Stop that, Adam. Round 6 with the 217 pick, they picked up James Houston, offensive linebacker, outside linebacker, 7 games, 2 starts.
Again, contributions from a deep round pick is more than 6, 7 games, 2 starts. Take it.
Round 7, they picked up Chase Lucas, defensive back, 6 games, 0 starts. And like Adam and I was talking the other day, well, you really find your stars, is in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round.
Underestimate that, people. A lot of people think that, how good could they be, going all the way down the bottom list and think, this guy's a nobody, he's not going to do much. Don't underestimate that, people. Those are things that are surprising. You may not know who they are away, but one good game or a few games, you'll start to get familiar with them.
And Lou, you bring up a good point. Go back and look what John Madden did. He took a team he took players that nobody wanted.
Never heard of him.
Look what he did. He took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. 1978. 76.
So that's what I'm saying. Watch these 5th, 6th, 7th rounders because they're the ones that could hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Belichick has been a master of taking malcontents, problem children, and cast-offs, and winning Super Bowls with them.
Exactly.
So you never count out a guy in the late rounds, man.
No.
Then coming to get me.
Seattle Seahawks ranked number 3 with a grade of A-. First round, with the 9th pick, they picked up Charles Cross, offensive tackle, 17 games, 17 starts.
And that's what you want from a 9th overall pick.
Yes.
Second round 40, they picked up Boy Math, outside linebacker. Boy, 17 games, 3 starts. Then with the next pick in round 2, which was the 40th pick, they picked up Kenneth Walker, the 3rd running back, 15 games, 11 starts. Round 3, they picked up Abraham Lucas, offensive tackle, 16 games, 16 starts. Round 4, they picked up Kobe Bryant, cornerback, 17 games, 6 starts. Round 5, they picked up Tyreek Woolen, cornerback, 17 games, 17 starts.
Wow.
In round 5 again, with the 158 pick, they picked up Tyreek Smith, outside linebacker, 0 games. Now the reason why he didn't get to start any games is because they had Boyd.
Right.
And when you draft somebody that high in the second round, like 40th, you're going to use your second round pick in the game.
Right. Your first and second rounders you're expecting them to be your primary contributors on either side of the ball.
Okay. Yeah, let me go down the list here. Let's see. What other Baltimore? No, they're in the AFC. Keep going here. Keep going. Pittsburgh.
What we could do is we could do the top 15 this week, and then do the next 15 next. We do 16 and 16.
Why not?
That might be to make it easier. So you
make it even.
Well, then in that case, let's start back up then.
Yeah.
Let's go back up to okay. The Jets, the A+.
Yeah, I thought they did great.
Yeah, they especially picking up Sauce Gardner, and that.
Yes.
Like Adam was just saying, y'all found a diamond in a diamond mine with him, Luke.
Yeah, well, it's a diamond in the rough. So
let's talk about number 4. I think number 4 is one of the hardest places to pick.
Exactly.
Because you know who the top 2, top 3 guys are, but once you get to 4, 5, 6, that's when the jockeying really starts. Because when you get around that spot in the draft, there's 3 guys that could all easily be number 4. And where do you go? What do we go? Team need, or do we go best player available?
I think a need is more important than best player available.
Well, that's kind of one of those damn if you do, damn if you don't situations. You sit there and look.
Right.
We need offensive line, or we need defensive help. But yet, we got these young players sitting out here that's hungry to play. So,
and if you take, and the unfortunate, fortunately for the Jets, they taking Sauce Gardner, he turned into a great player. But if Gardner doesn't work out, then and the guy that gets picked at 7, 8, 9, 10, those guys would be like, the fan base is like, well, why didn't we go get that guy? We could have had that guy. So, and like you said, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And look at the Lions, they're number 2 and they picked up Adrian Hutchinson. That was a steal in the draft.
All right. He should have been number 1.
Yeah.
But hey, at number 2, that's still a good pickup for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Because they needed that.
I agree.
Chip on defense.
Right.
And Hutchinson brings that leadership capabilities.
And he's only going to get better with age.
Exactly. Then at number 3, we had the Seahawks.
Yeah.
We talked about them.
Their grade is an A-. What surprised me about the Seahawks in last year's draft is they went the offense.
Well, I think they were kind of pigeonholed into having to go offense because they didn't have a quarterback. So you need, getting Geno Smith or Drew Lock, at the time of the draft, we didn't really know who was going to emerge as a starter. and they were kind of pigeonholed into having to go and get offensive help for the quarterback. So, and fortunately for them, it worked out.
Exactly. The Chiefs, they're number 4, and their rookie grade is a B plus. Round 1 with the 21st pick, they picked up Trent McDuffie, cornerback, 11 games, 11 starts.
Right. I think he came in when somebody got hurt. And then, of course, that's the kind of production you want from a 21st overall pick. That's when you're starting to get into you're starting, especially a team like Kansas City with so many great players already. You can take a risk on a guy that's maybe a late first round, early second round kind of. You can draft him a little early, and that'll give you some opportunities to make,
Yes.
Exactly.
Because they didn't need, with Patrick Mahomes, all you need is guys that are competent. You give Patrick Mahomes guys that are competent, and he'll eat defenses for brunch.
Yes.
Exactly.
And dinner. And dinner as well.
He'd be out there snacking on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ravens. They got a B plus. But now here's my question: before we look at the number 1 pick, what are they going to do for a quarterback?
They got to resign Lamar. They don't have any choice.
No question. It's got to be
because
Lamar
if they don't resign Lamar, they're foobarred at quarterback.
But let's just say if they don't resign Lamar,
blow it up and start over.
Yeah.
What do they do?
I don't know where because they're gonna have to scramble, because if Lamar signs anywhere but Baltimore, which I really don't see him signing anywhere but Baltimore.
Me neither.
Neither do I.
And the number 1 pick in last year's draft was Kyle Hamilton. Safety. He started 16 games and only had 4 starts.
I mean, I look at that 16 games as opposed to the starts. I think that's more important. And he was on the field for all but 1 game. Getting valuable experience.
And the Steelers, they're ranked number 6 with a class grade of B plus. To be honest with y'all, with them picking up Kenny Pickett didn't show me anything last year.
Yeah, I like Pickett. I think he's the I think he's the real deal. But
now we all know that quarterbacks in NFL, they go through a rookie slump.
Right.
Yes.
We'll be able to regrade Pickett in 3 years when he's got a couple years of experience. Let's
3 years.
Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater here. It was a terrible situation. He was coming into a rough situation anyway, having to replace Ben Roethlisberger, having no offensive line, having no weapons. I'm going to give him a pass on this year, and we'll see. We'll see where we're at this time next year, and how we feel about Kenny Pickett. I'm willing to say that this year it was kind of expected for them to not be very good anyway, and he still managed to win 9 games. So let's see what happens in 2023, 2024.
13 games, 12 starts.
Right. Because he didn't start the first 4 games, or didn't play in the first 4 games. So
now we're coming up to number 7, the 49ers.
They had a great draft.
Yeah.
Their grade is a B.
Just a B.
Round 2, they didn't have a first round pick last year, so they didn't get to pick until the second round. But they picked up the Drake Johnson, defensive end, 15 games, 0 starts.
Well, they got Joey Bosa, so I wouldn't expect a guy to start.
Nick Bosa.
Or
Joey
Nick.
played for the Chargers.
One of the Bosas. They're both bums, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I wouldn't expect a guy like that to, obviously, having 15 games, played in 15 games, it means he was a contributor. So I'm going to say that's a good pick. I mean, but their best pick was Brock Purdy in the 7th round at 256. So,
oh man, I don't know what to say about Purdy. This kid is just
called it.
Yeah.
What's the word? Honestly, I think he should have got Rookie of the Year this last year.
Yeah.
Because look what he did. He came in,
cold.
All of us, when they brought Purdy in, got to thinking, well, there goes the 49ers. They're not going to make the playoffs because the third string quarterback comes in. We all sitting there thinking, well, there goes the 49ers. They're done.
Right.
Might as well just close up shop. Tell the players, just go ahead and go home. We don't have a chance. But getting them to the championship game with a third string quarterback.
Yeah, could have won that game if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Say no more.
I guarantee you, Purdy will be the starting quarterback next season.
Depending on how long it takes that elbow to heal. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Trey Lance is going to be back up.
Yeah. Garoppolo's out. Lance is back up, and Purdy is the starter. Depending on what, obviously, depending on how that elbow heals, he may be.
And I think the 49ers may pick up a quarterback in a draft just to have that third string quarterback there as insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The Tennessee Titans, their grade is a B, and with the first round with the number 18 pick, they picked up Tyron Burks. 11 games, 6 starts. So that's not too bad for them. Keep going down here. Number 9. Oh, I wish Devin was on.
Mm-hmm.
Is his Falcons, and they got a.
Oh yeah.
They got a B-. Now with Matt Ryan left, and they had Marcus. What's his last name?
Mariota.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota. Yes.
And they, Marcus didn't do much of anything last year except show he can still fumble the football.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because he started out okay. He had a decent start, but then the wheels came off and he got benched for Desmond Ridder.
Do y'all think Ridder is the quarterback that could help the Falcons?
I kind of think he's in the same boat as Kenny Pickett. It's way too early to say one way or the other. You got to give him time to develop. Unfortunately, it's one of those unfortunate things where when you come into a situation like coming into a situation like that where he's not on a great team. There's not a lot of talent around him that can help him out.
No, not at all.
So the learning curve, the NFL's learning curve is so steep anyway. And when you come into a situation like he's coming into, it makes that learning curve that much more difficult to adjust to. So again, I'm not willing to, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So
yeah.
And number 1 pick in last year's draft was Drake London, which is a wide receiver. 17 games, but he only had 15 starts. So, there's 2 games that he missed.
Yeah, I think he didn't start. Kind of one of those, again, I think it's just too early to tell for a lot of guys. Too early to tell.
Yes.
Number 10
I think.
is our Cowboys, Lou.
Okay.
Hey, at least we're in the top 10.
Yeah,
It
but
could be worse.
maybe we should go.
We could be damn near. We could be at the bottom.
That would be a
But
problem.
last year, with the first over with the first pick, we picked up Tyler Smith.
Right.
We picked him up to replace the guard that we have now. Because the guard
Right.
the offensive guard we have now, he can't stay healthy a year.
Yes.
We're lucky if we get 3 or 4 games out of him.
Yeah.
But 17 games, and he started all 17 of those games.
Mm.
Like Adam and I were talking the other day about, with the Cowboys 4th and 5th round, there's value there.
Yes.
Because look, I didn't know who Bland was until he started playing for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And look what he did last year. The man was a monster.
Which one?
Bland.
Oh, no, Herman Munster, Grandpa.
Frankenstein.
So look for Deron Bland to be great again this coming season.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And then we picked up Malik Davis. He owned 12 games but 0 starts. He did have a few. What did you say, Adam? 2 or 3 games.
He had 36 carries in those 12 games.
The reason why he didn't get a lot of starts is because we had Zeke and Tony.
Right.
Zeke.
And again, in those rounds, you're looking for value, and you're looking, guys that can play special teams, guys that can play, that can, punt coverage guys, kick returners, stuff like that. So, and if they think he can be the man, make it easier to move on from Zeke. If they think he can come in and contribute, if they give him a heavier workload next year, because he had 36 carries, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and he averaged 4.2 yards a carry. And for a guy that late in the draft with no expectations, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing these down, guys. Give me just a second here.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, no, I figured you were.
Yes.
That way I know where to stop at.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Oh.
It's when you get to that point in the draft, and this is true for all teams across the board, no matter how good or bad you are. When you get in the 5th and 6th round, you're just looking for value. You're looking for a guy that they can contribute. You're not looking for him to be a superstar. Now, of course, you can. There's the Brock Purdy's and Tom Brady's of the world.
Yeah.
But you have but you're looking for guys that can come in and play special teams. They can play, they can play in relief, guys. Mostly, you're looking, in the 5th and 6th round, you're looking for special teamers, guys that can cover punts, return punts, cover kicks, return kicks. Those kind of guys. They can play. Maybe they're not a kick returner, like they're not a Devin Hester or a Deontay Hall. But what they can do is they can go out there, hands guys that have great hands. They can play on the in the kick the onside kick team, stuff like that. Guys that you're gonna guys that you're gonna spot. Yeah, okay, it's a blowout. We're up by 30. You're gonna get 3 carries. Oh, we're down by 30. We don't want to get a starter hurt. We're gonna put you in there and see what you can do. Those kind of guys. That's what I'm looking for. If I'm a GM and I'm scouting later, if I'm a GM and I talk to my scout team, I'm like, okay, who are the guys at the end of the draft that I'm gonna be picking that are gonna be cheap and effective, because I don't want to take somebody in the 4th round or the 5th round that's going to be a 2.1, $2.2 million guy who's only going to play in 12 games and not really contribute. Give me a guy, I don't mind paying that kind of money, but I want value for my money.
Moving on here, guys. Houston Texans. They got a grade of B minus. Now,
okay.
Adam and I were looking at the mock draft. They got Bryce Young going to the Texans. So all I have to say is, deuces, Bryce. Your career's done.
Good luck.
You're gone.
It all depends on what they do in the.
Well,
there's. I don't want to. I think do I think he's going to get ruined in Houston? Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Yeah. But talent will out. If he has got the talent, then he will be. This is it's an opportunity. And if I was in that position where I was given the opportunity to play, I would play on any team in any situation because it's an opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime. And if you don't take it,
it's your fault, buddy.
Look at Jamarcus Russell, right? He was drafted number 1 overall by the Raiders, right? And we know the Raiders were a trash organization and have been a trash organization since 1984. Yeah. But the problem is that no matter how trash of an organization you end up playing on, if you don't do your part, you are only part of the problem. And Bryce Young has the opportunity to come in and be a hero in Houston. An opportunity to come in and play the right way, do all the right things. And by the grace of God, if he somehow manages to make them into a championship caliber team, or they develop a championship caliber team around him, and he wins a title in Houston, he could run for God in Houston and get it.
Well, maybe mayor, but
number 12 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They came in with a B minus. Trevor Lawrence.
It's right there, man.
He's right there. I say next year is going to be his breakout year.
Well, yeah, because they got Calvin Ridley coming in.
Like it goes back to what I said. Any rookie quarterback that comes in from college into the draft is going to that rookie slump.
Mm-hmm. You expect at least a year or two.
Yes.
Yeah, because they got to get used to playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
You can't have a rookie quarterback come in from college and go and hit it right off the bat.
It's very, very rare.
Purdy was one of those rare moments.
And Purdy got the chance to play on a great team. They brought in Christian McCaffrey. They had
Nick Bosa.
George Kittle is the word I was. So in terms of great players, it gives you an opportunity. And like I was saying about Bryce Young, I said, good luck to you in Houston. Houston's a dumpster fire, but
the trash dump.
If he can do the right,
basically with the Texans to bring out the TNT, light it, throw it in the stadium, blow it up, and say forget it.
But if he can bring what he's done in Alabama to the next level, and he can continue to be a great player, and you can elevate the game at the next level. Excuse me. And Trevor, expecting poor Trevor Lawrence to get stuck with Urban Meyer, who has no idea how to work the NFL system.
Exactly.
Get real.
Number 13, we have the Saints. They got they came in with a B- grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough year for New Orleans anyway. But they got Chris Olave, great receiver, a lot of upside to him.
Number 14 is the Giants. They came in with a grade of a C+.
That's rough. I would have given them at least a B. I thought they had a great draft.
Yeah.
They had
what they did this year.
They had a great season. First year head coach came in,
right,
took him to the playoffs.
They got cheated.
Daniel Jones looked better than what he did last season.
Yeah.
They got cheated.
But yeah, I do agree. This is a little harsh. I would have gave him, maybe somewhere around maybe a B-.
I would have given them a solid B. I thought Thibodeau and then the other guy that they drafted in the first round, whose name's escaping me.
Evan Neal.
Yeah. I thought they were both huge contributors. And
go ahead, Adam.
In a year where they were expected to do nothing, I think they were preseason 5-12 to make the playoffs and win their first playoff game since the championship, since the Super Bowl in 2011. I think that's pretty. Now, if they're grading on the curve, they're grading the whole draft and not just, obviously we don't have time to go through every single pick on every single team. But those guys at the bottom of the draft that didn't really contribute, it's gonna be a huge.
Then the last team for this week, I cannot believe this. I thought this team was going to be higher up.
Yeah.
But it shocks me. The Buffalo Bills.
That's a shock.
A C-.
Yes.
I would have gave him.
Low.
I would have gave him a B- at least.
Yeah.
Because they did have a great season.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to the second round.
They
won
my Super Bowl pick. I kept saying it's going to be Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Could have been. They're a piece or two away from being. I mean, if Von Miller and Hamlin don't get hurt, it was just too much for Josh Allen to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and we're grading the draft. We're not grading the whole season. We're just grading the draft. So
exactly.
if they didn't get great draft picks, then of course they're going to be their draft grade is going to suffer. Just no matter how good of a year they had. But I think that I think Buffalo will bounce back. I expect them to be a competitor again next year. So.
How many? Did y'all watch the WWE Elimination Chamber?
I watched, but I followed your updates.
It's going to be Asuka and Bianca Belair for the women's title at WrestleMania.
Okay.
At the Empress of Tomorrow. Now they rebranded Asuka's character.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
She doesn't come out. Remember how she used to come out dressed in with that long robe and the mask and all that?
Yeah.
She's not like that anymore. It's completely rebranded.
Okay.
Then we had the mixed tag match. Beth and Edge going up against Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor the Judgment Day.
And believe it or not, Ripley. Oh. Okay.
Beth and Edge won that one.
Right.
Yes.
I kind of expected that.
The Glamazon still has it, man. Beth Phoenix still has it.
Yeah.
He's still my beating heart.
Then Bobby versus Brock. Bobby won by DQ because Brock kicked the Bobby in the Jingle Bells.
Big Kick City. I mean, I kind of saw that coming. I kind of figured that Brock would hold the belt.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you can hear the Jingle Bells ring all over that arena.
Jingle all the way.
And it takes talent to be able to do that stuff.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh boy.
His nuts were definitely roasted.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Excuse our monologue, folks.
I think that's between the leg nuts.
Yeah.
Then in the men's elimination chamber, and let me tell you, this match right here, it kept me glued to the TV. It went back and forth. Montez Ford of the Street Profits almost had it won. Almost,
really?
Man. Oh. Yes. If it wouldn't been for Damian Priest.
Yeah.
But
I guess he needed a priest. Oh.
But Austin Theory kept his belt.
Okay.
And the last match of the night was Roman versus Sammy.
The one we've been waiting for.
This match right here, let me tell you, it was a hell of a match, man. Sammy took Roman to the limits. Sammy almost had Roman beat if it wasn't been for Roman knocking out the referee. And then Jimmy Uso showed up in the ring. And then Roman was going to hit Sammy with a chair. Ooh. But guess who jumped in to save Sammy? Jay. Yeah, and Roman told Jay, hit him. And Jay's like, he's had enough.
No.
Back off. Leave it alone. He's had enough. Back
You're
off.
right. Yes.
No, you got the match. You got the match is over. Let it go.
That's right. There's only so much punishment somebody can take.
And then Roman and Jimmy was beating up on Sammy. Well, of course, Kevin Owens came in to save Sammy.
Okay.
Then on Monday Night Raw, Sammy called Kevin out to the ring and asked him, look, told him both of us together can take out the bloodline. And Kevin looked Sammy in the eyes and says, I don't want no part of you. He goes, I can take out the bloodline on my own.
Well, now.
So, at WrestleMania, this is the match I'm looking for. It's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the unified undefeated championship. So the two matches I really want to watch at WrestleMania is Asuka and Bianca and Roman and Cody.
Okay. I thought Roman and Brock had or Cody and Brock had a match at Mania.
Yeah.
No. But out of all the elimination chambers I watched, I would have to say this goes down as far as the best one I've seen yet.
Yeah.
They actually put people in these matches that deserved a shot at the title.
Yeah.
Daytona 500, guys.
Oh, that was a finish.
What a finish. What a race. I mean, I didn't get to see all the race because I was out. I had to mow my yard, but I came in to catch the last 60 laps of it. And but let me tell you, those last 60 laps, bumping and rubbing and trading paint and
couldn't go anywhere.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
It's just all like they were bunched up.
And that was the big problem is that you couldn't get out by yourself
Yeah.
and go.
Nope.
So
You had to rely on a draft partner,
yeah,
and
you had to have 2 or 3 guys to go with you.
when you can't get the draft partners, you're pretty much just stuck in traffic. Like, okay, come on,
I'm going back.
you're going
That's
back.
what happened to. That's what happened to Larson. He got in the sucker hole.
And if you sit there in traffic too long, and you start losing that draft, then all of a sudden you pick that draft back up. Before you know it, you're gonna end up in a wall.
Yeah, you're in the fence.
Yeah.
And now you're hanging on.
You're gonna be in somebody's door.
Well, and that was the thing is that there was just no passing. You get 2 lines, and you get 10 or 12 cars in each line, and there's just nowhere you can go. And
Exactly.
and it was one of.
I would have to say this. Congratulations to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on winning the Daytona 500.
Yeah. Close finish too. I heard.
It took.
Yeah, it was close.
I think it took what 2 or 3 overtimes to
2 overtime.
Two.
2 overtimes to
Settle it.
settle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just. I don't know.
But hey, if every race this season can be as good as Daytona 500,
It'll be a great year.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the season starts this week. We're going to California, and I like Kyle Busch this week. Kyle Busch is always good at California. He's got a new team, and
Oh man.
well, like I said, this is the season starts this week. The Daytona is such a wild animal that
Yeah.
you really don't know what you got until you get to California.
When
And we'll
does the
see.
West Coast Swing start?
This week we're in California. California, Vegas, Phoenix. I think it's the next 4 races, next 3 races.
Yeah, that's the West Coast Swing.
And I think that I think Kyle Larson's going to be tough. Kyle Busch is going to be tough. We'll see how things shake out over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll be able to see where we're at with this second year of the new car, because now we have a book on it, right? We have a book on the car, and we can see what it's going to do.
Because the drivers that are good on the West Coast Swing, one is Kyle Busch,
Mm-hmm.
2 is Carl Larson, Kevin Harvick,
Yeah, Alex Bowman.
Those are the top 4 drivers right there that are great in the West Coast Swing. So any four of them can end up winning the West Coast Swing.
Yeah.
We can sit here and say, "Oh well, it's going to be Larson." They can turn out on them other 3.
Yeah, I think Larson and Busch are going to be your favorites this week in California. We'll have to wait and see. On Saturday afternoon, we have practice qualifying, see who's fast. This is where this is when the season really gets started, because Daytona is such a wild animal. You don't know, because Daytona you can be running 13th with a lap and a half to go, and end up second because they wiped out half the field. And you can be leading with
first and end up 32nd.
Yeah, on your lid, sliding across the start-finish line. So you really don't know what you got at Daytona. But
exactly.
California is really the start of the season, because California is an actual racetrack. Not to say that Daytona isn't a racetrack, but the Daytona 500 is such a wild card that you end up with a guy like Ricky Stenhouse winning the thing. So now we get to see we get to see who's got their stuff together this year in California. Who's going to be fast? Who's going to challenge for wins all year?
Exactly. Um, and then this this week, this week, Lou, we had your favorite league starting, the XFL.
Oh yeah, that league.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Week one, it was pretty interesting to see how the
Yes.
rules work. Instead of kicking the extra point like they do in the NFC, I mean
No.
NFL, you got three lines. You can go for 1 point, 2 point, or 3 point.
Right. That was one of the interesting parts of the scoring system.
And I'm sitting there, I'm watching that, and I'm like,
Um,
huh?
I mean, it worked.
Yeah, but here's my question to y'all: how long will it last?
2 more weeks. That's it.
It'll be. I don't see it.
I'm gonna
I
say,
think without a major disaster, I say it'll make the whole year. Will it
and
get
that's what
another season?
I'm gonna say a
I
whole
don't.
year.
I think the big problem with when we talked about these alternate football leagues, so you have no money. They
Exactly.
just
No.
don't have the big money that the NFL has right now.
No.
And the thing about it is that you got scrubs like Paxton Lynch, who's not even good enough to play in the CFL, let alone the NFL, and he gets benched in the XFL. So I mean, it's so hard to start up a new league.
Yeah.
It's not like a baseball league where you have 10,000 baseball players, and you may not be. You got guys who are bartenders and waiters and whatever that want to
Bus
play
drivers.
baseball. Bus drivers or taxi, guys that do Uber during the week, Uber during the day, and then and they're Ubering people right to the stadium before they got to go in and play ball. With the NFL, with football is a lifestyle, right? And so you
Exactly.
can't have a second job. You can't have a day job and play football
No.
and compete in the NFL and compete and be NFL. If you're an NFL caliber guy, you're not playing in the XFL because the XFL just doesn't have the money to compete with the lower level with the lowest level salaries in the NFL. If you have
No.
if you have NFL talent, if you have NFL level talent, you're not playing in the XFL right now because the
No.
XFL doesn't have the money to compete with the NFL. Now, in a year or two, if this thing does take off, if it does prove to be halfway decent football, and it can grow and it can develop some long term sponsorship deals where they can bring in $1 billion as a league, and they can spread that out around the 8 or 10 teams that they have. Then and you can start seeing $1 to $3 million contracts in the XFL. Then you might be able to lure away some of the lower level talent and not end up with washed up nobody, never was washed up has-beens and never was is playing in the XFL.
Yeah. Went down to very low. It's about 200 million.
Uh, Now, who's ready for some March Madness?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right here. Right here. Yes.
There's going to be one team that's not going to be in it this year, and that's
Oh,
New
New
Mexico.
Mexico? Yeah, that was some terrible.
New Mexico is done.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
they're
I think they're going to be done for the next 3-4 years.
probably, possibly. I don't, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
I think it's what the most unfortunate thing for me about that whole situation. Is the players, the other guys that didn't have anything to do with it, get screwed.
Right.
You know, and look,
But
there's another. 'Cause I was
but
thinking about that.
but it's like this though. One person on the team screws up, the whole team suffers.
That's right.
And that's not really fair to everyone else.
No, it's not. But what can you do?
Now I was thinking about the other thing I was thinking about is like I don't know how much I'd want to really if those things came to light and and I didn't have anything to do with it. Obviously, I don't condone that kind of thing. I never participated in that kind of thing. I don't believe it. I think it's wrong. And I had no idea it was going on. And how much would I really want to play basketball right now? And trying to deal with that and having having the stars of the team being such despicable, unlikable people. It's really hard to get it ginned up for a basketball game when you're processing everything that happens. So
exactly. Let's see. Oh, that's only showing one. Now, who's ready for the USFL?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. At least it got to the second year.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's kind of the same thing applies to what I said about the XFL. If they can sustain it over the next couple of years and build a brand, then they might have a shot at challenging the NFL, or at least playing in the same ballpark.
But then again, if you stop, excuse me, if you look what happened back in what Lou, you said what 70s when
mid-80s.
when the AFL when the AFC and NFC merged to become the NFL.
Yes.
I got a fun feeling this is going to happen between the XFL and the USFL.
I wouldn't put it past it. Or both leagues go under and they don't exist anymore.
Again.
And if that happens, I know for a fact they're not going to be able to compete with the NFL.
No, not at all.
What I like about this though is you have football year round now.
Yeah. What would you call it? Would you call it the UXFL or XUFL or what would you
USXFL?
UXL.
Yeah. UXL. The useless football. Yeah. We can't do UFL because that already happened.
But
or
while y'all were doing
UXF.
that, I looked.
Yeah.
As y'all were talking about that, I looked up this thing about Bobby Wagner that I was talking about at the start of the show. At the one season with the Rams, Bobby Wagner, they're separating. With the Rams approximately $13.7 million over the salary cap space. See there? About the money.
Yes.
Usually is.
Heading towards a new league year. According to the roster management system, Wagner and the Rams mutually agreed to part ways Thursday, sources tell ESPN. When Wagner's release become official, the Rams will save $5 million in salary cap space. But they will also incur a $7.5 million dead money charge.
That money doesn't come to the cap.
The Rams have the option.
If I understand all that right.
The Rams have the option of designating Wagner a post-June 1st release, which would save them $8 million. Through the savings won't be credited to the cap until the summer. If Wagner had remained on the roster on the fifth day of the 2023 league year, his $7.5 million base salary and a $2.5 million roster bonus due in 2024 would have become guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was. And I figured he was over budget and underperformed.
I think it was. I don't remember who it was that posted the article in a chat group about. Let me go see if I can find it real quick. About a picture of wanting more money.
Who doesn't want more money? I want more money.
We all do.
Yeah,
I
but
mean- let's see what else. Hey, look who's joining us.
Hey guys.
Hey, Bradley.
Hey, Mr. Walker. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find something here real quick. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little bit of NBA here real quick because we still got some time left.
Yeah.
What you in there, Mr. Walker?
The NBA
Meatloaf.
the NBA All-Star break in the review mirror. Now,
Yeah.
here's the 13 teams that could possibly win the NBA championship. And the number one team they have down winning it. Okay? We'll get back to this. No,
Boston?
no. Get back to my tablet's going crazy. Is the Boston Celtics. That's the number one team they said that could win it this year.
Of course.
Yeah, Boston needs another championship like I need a hole in the head.
All in their head anyway. So
The last NBA title was in 2008.
They have plenty of titles. Let Sacramento win one.
Kevin Garnett
Hey,
here.
I agree with you on that one.
I think it'd be fun to have somebody.
No, I was trying to. You know what? We'll look for something real quick. I know.
Mhm.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
You're fine.
It's the joys of live radio.
yes.
Right. I want to go. I want to see if I can find this again because this was some interesting stuff. Adam and I were talking about this last night. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was looking for right here. We're going to look at the mock draft, and I want to get y'all's take on this.
Okay.
Number one in the mock draft is going to be the Chicago Bears. We all know Chicago's got the number one pick.
Yes, yes.
They taken Jalen Carter from Georgia.
Okay.
y'all think- Huh?
What position?
Defensive tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chicago
Or
needs help
they make
everywhere.
a blockbuster trade with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, send Justin
Mhm.
Fields and draft a quarterback.
Well, that's a possibility.
That could
That's a
happen
rumor
too.
that's been going on down here. So just so
That
that
that sounds like wishful thinking on the part of the diehards there in Tampa.
Yes.
just saying,
No, I
not
just
coming from my mouth or anything. I'm just letting you know what there are people down here that think.
I would never accuse you of anything as ludicrous
Oh, no.
as that.
Oh, no,
But I'm just,
I said that Jeff Scott was coming back to coach USF this year, so that didn't
well,
happen. So there you go.
and
I wrote a whole
Number
article
two.
about that.
didn't he get fired the next day?
Yeah, he got fired within the 2 or 3 days after that article came out.
There goes that theory.
Number two. All I got to say is this young man's career is over. Bryce Young going to the Texans.
Goodbye.
The Texans is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on him, though,
I was
because
going to say, give him a chance to prove himself.
like I said earlier in the show about Jameis Winston, not Jameis Winston. Sorry, Russell. Why can I not remember it? I said it earlier. Raiders quarterback that stunk.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, thank you.
Who?
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus
Like
Russell.
that was just as much of a bad organization as the Raiders are, and we know they're a dumpster fire, and they've been a dumpster fire since 1984. But you got to help yourself. You know, if you apply yourself in this league, you have every opportunity to be a great player and perform and bring a winning attitude. If you bring a winning attitude with you, you can turn the culture. If Bryce Young comes in with a winning attitude and does everything right, he can become a great player.
True. Number 3 is the Arizona Cardinals. They got Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. He's an edge rusher going to the Arizona Cardinals.
They need to replace J.J. Watt, so
I think that's why they're going. I think that's why they're making this move.
Again, that's a team that needs help
4,
everywhere. So
yeah.
Number 4 is the Colts. C.J. Stroud.
Need a quarterback.
Yeah, but Stroud's not the answer.
I agree. Number 5 is the Seahawks. Will Anderson, Alabama edge.
If he plays smart, the problem is he plays undisciplined football. He takes bad penalties and stupid penalties. And I don't know if his personality is going to mesh with Pete Carroll. That's the only problem I see with him ending up in Seattle. Because Pete Carroll doesn't suffer fools.
Number 6 is the Detroit Lions from Los Angeles Rams because of the trade. They got Miles Murphy, Clemson edge going to the Lions.
Put the edge on. Put the other edge. If you force a team to single cover one guy, whether who are you doubling? I love it. You gonna double him or Aiden? Take your points. Pick your poison, baby.
Number 7.
Yes.
Number 7 is the Las Vegas. That's true. It's gonna be like Adam said. Who you gonna double cover? Because if you double cover Adrian, you have Miles to worry about. You double cover Miles, you have Adrian to worry about. Number 7 is the Raiders. Number 7 is the Raiders, and they got Will Levis. Kentucky QB going. So what do you think about
I
that
don't
pick?
know. I hate it. I don't trust.
Do what, Adam?
I don't trust Will Levis at all. I think he's too much. They're caught up in the flash. He's very flashy. He's got a big arm, but having a big arm is no guarantee of accuracy. I'll take a guy with a noodle arm that can hit the 10-yard out every time. You give me a noodle arm guy, guy that can't throw the deep ball, and I'll.
Who's seen that?
The problem.
Have y'all seen that movie? Scary movie where that guy with that little hand says, "Let me use my strong hand."
The problem with big arm guys that can throw the ball 40 yards down the field. If they throw the ball 40 yards on every throw. So if you're trying to hit, if you got a dig route or a slant, a ball that you got to put some touch on, and you're trying to rifle it in there, it's gonna go off. It's gonna go off hands. It's gonna get knocked down at the line. And the big arm guys think that a window this big, they're gonna try and force it because they can throw the ball 40 yards down the field. They're trying to force it into double coverage because they got a cannon for an arm and they're just ripping it every throw. And they make poor decisions with the ball, and it gets picked off. And that's my biggest concern with Will Levis. Is big arm, but can he develop the timing and the touch? Because routes in the NFL are all about timing.
Yes.
Number 8 is the Atlanta Falcons. They got Lucas Van Ness going, and he's an edge. Number 9 is Carolina Panthers, and they got Peter. I said Skoronsky.
Isn't he an offensive lineman out of Northwestern? Yeah,
I'm Polish, and I can't say his last name. That's
Wisniewski or something like that.
That's pretty bad.
Okay.
That's pretty bad, guys. Number 10 is the Philadelphia Eagles. They got Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois.
Okay, he's a good quarterback. He's good.
Number 11 is Tennessee, and they got Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle coming in from Ohio State. Then again, number 12, Houston Texans coming from the Cleveland Browns because of the Deshaun Watson trade. They picking up Jordan Addison, USC wide receiver.
Trade that pick. I'm trading that pick back. I want to trade deeper into the first round and pick up a second and a third. I'm trading that pick away.
Yes.
Okay, now here comes the Jets. I want Lou, you're a Jets fan. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Broderick Jones coming in from Georgia. He's an offensive tackle. Would you stick with that pick, or would you try to trade it?
I think I'm going to try and trade it. I think I try to trade it way better than that.
I agree.
Yeah, there are other offensive linemen later in the draft.
Exactly.
You said you're a New England Patriots fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the 14th with the 14th pick, they got the Patriots picking up Christian Gonzalez from Oregon.
What position?
He's a cornerback.
Corner? I don't know. Probably stay with that.
Okay.
See, I'd be interested in making a move for a receiver. That's really what I want is a receiver.
Yeah.
What about you, Brad?
Yeah, they need help on offense from Mac.
They need help all the way around. Right. Honestly, they do, because I don't think Mac Jones is the answer at quarterback for the Patriots.
No.
I don't think he is. They need somebody that would fit that system better.
I think
also, when you have two defensive coordinators being an offensive coordinator, that doesn't help any progress either.
Well, they fired Patricia and they moved the other guy back to defense and they brought in Bill O'Brien. So yeah. I like that move. I think
this year.
I think you stick with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, and you try to. I want to build around those two. I really like Bailey Zappi. I think he can be a very serviceable quarterback. And I'm not ready to give up on Mac Jones either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ready to give up on Mac Jones. But I think that you got to get him help though, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then with the 15th
we're in the living room now.
15th
Green screen.
Hey, nice living room there, Brad.
I do not own a piano, by the way, so no.
Good
the fireplace, yes. The piano, no.
That's for you to know and them to never find out.
Hey, nice piano, though.
Thank you. I don't want
What you want for
I
it?
can just see Brad. I can just see Brad now after the show back there.
even though my favorite Billy Joel song is Piano Man. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I play actually, so
I just had a bad thought. That's why I'm laughing.
Just like a
Okay.
train in Ohio, this show has officially come off the rail.
yes.
With the
Oh,
15th pick in this mock draft, Green Bay's got they got Green Bay picking Dalton Kincaid, Utah tight end.
Another young guy for Aaron Rodgers to have to argue with in training camp.
Right.
yeah.
Do you think Aaron? That's the question still remains: is Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay next year?
Well, he came out of his isolation. We could talk about that in a little while.
Yes.
Yeah, let's save that for Brad's show, guys. And if
Right.
y'all watching, please after this, please follow Mr. Bradley Walker at the Walker Report. If you're not on his page, get with me,
Mhm.
and I will get you onto his page. We have a blast on his show just like we do over here.
That's right.
So please show
Might as
Mr.
well.
Please show Mr. Bradley Walker some love, guys.
Appreciate that.
Washington Commanders, Joey Porter Jr., cornerback out of Penn State. Washington needs all the help they can get.
Yeah, and if Porter's the best guy available, take him.
Yes.
I got
It's not gonna
see him play in person. He's a good player.
hurt. And I'm glad to see him go. Enjoy Washington, bud.
Number
Yeah.
17 is Pittsburgh Steelers, and they picking up Darnell White, Tennessee offensive tackle.
Mhm.
Don't hate it, don't love it.
White, a plug-and-play tight end, right tackle for an offensive line that needs to be overhauled to protect last year's first-round pick, Kenny Pickett.
I don't love it, I don't hate it.
Number
Yeah,
Kind of
18,
okay, it's like an okay pick. I'm not gonna say this is the stupidest pick I've ever heard, but
No, it could be worse.
Now, this question goes out to Brad because he follows the SEC, don't you, Brad?
I do.
Number 18, the Detroit Lions are picking up Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
No. Anthony should have stayed at the University of Florida. He's not ready for the NFL. And even if he gets drafted, and that's the Lions, right? Why would they draft a quarterback? Because it looks like they had a good one last. What's his name?
Golf.
Yeah, Golf looked like he was coming back. They didn't lose any. I don't. So you're gonna bring him in there. He'll last you 1-2 seasons. He'll be hurt, and then he got hurt at Florida. He's not. He's injury prone.
I think that the move to get Richardson right now is for the future, because at a certain point Jared Goff's going to be old,
True.
and I think that they're trying to get out ahead of that. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think they need more help elsewhere. I wouldn't waste a pick on Rich. I wouldn't waste an 18 on Richardson if he's not available later in the draft. Oh well, but I think he will fall to the 3rd or 4th round very easily. I think if you pass on him, I think he'll still be there. I would look at trading that pick, and moving back in the draft and trying to pick up more draft capital and looking to shore up the receiving core, the running back room, linebackers. That would be what I would be looking to do. Of course, these are all mock drafts, and this is like the first mock draft post Super Bowl. We haven't had free agency yet. We haven't had any big earth-shattering, life-changing moves, trades made. So I think I'm not comfortable with Richardson at 18. I think it's too much of a risk. I think he has tremendous upside, but his ceiling, his floor is so low that I I'm not sold on that pick.
Okay, next week, guys. Since Adam bought up mock draft, y'all got some homework to do this week, and I'm going to do it too. Sit down and look at each team, and let's do our own mock draft. Then we can come on air next week and say what give our predictions on where what each team's going to do.
Sounds like fun to me.
This is just fun, guys. This doesn't mean nothing, It's just us trying to figure out.
If you don't turn in your homework by Wednesday at 4 p.m., you can't be on the show.
You can't say by Tuesday. If you can't say by Tuesday by noon, you're out of here for life.
I know you're gonna love this pick. If you do not love this mock draft pick, I'm going to kick you off the show. No, just kidding.
I was going to tell you I hated it.
They got Tampa Bay Buccaneers picking up Bijan Robinson out of Texas.
I hate that pick. I honestly, truly hate that pick. They need help everywhere.
Well,
honestly,
I need help at quarterback.
I think Bijan's going to be a great NFL player. I really do. I really do think Bijan's going to be a great NFL player. But the problem is
I don't see him going the first round though.
Yeah. I think he's going to get wasted if he goes to Tampa Bay. He's going to be wasted. They have no quarterback.
That's right.
Kyle Trask.
You think Kyle Trask is the future? I don't.
Dude. Again, listen to open radio. That's who they have. They have it as new offensive coordinator is praising him, and they're going
maybe obviously.
If I was Tampa Bay, okay, if I was the Tampa Bay general manager, there's some good free agent quarterbacks coming out.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of cap space.
No.
Cooper Rush is one of them.
Depends on how much money he's got.
With the right team and the right coach, Cooper Rush can be a dangerous QB.
Yes.
Depends on who your OC is too.
I would try to pick Cooper up cheap if I could.
If you do get Cooper Rush, if you can solidify the quarterback room, then I don't really hate the Bijan Robinson pick. Right. But they've got to revamp the offensive line. They need help at corner. You need linebacker help, and you've got to shore up the defensive line. And I think the problem is that Bijan is a sexy pick, but 6 doesn't win NFL football games.
No.
But
it says
right here, the Bucs need to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback in the wake of Tom Brady's retirement. But Robinson will take pressure off of whoever's under center.
So Rashad White, who had a good season a year ago.
So
okay, I'm talking myself into this pick. Damn it.
Okay.
Because I totally agree.
But it all depends on who they get at quarterback.
The problem is that you can't have a workhorse back in the NFL. A guy that's going to get 300 carries is going to get killed.
That's the reason why they need the Tampa. I agree with what they're saying. Tampa needs to figure out what they're going to do at the quarterback position.
If you get that figured out, that solves so many problems. Like I like Derek Carr.
Do you draft a quarterback, or do you get one out of free agency?
If you can get one,
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield's a good.
Oh, please!
It's all the Bucs can afford. Either him or who's the quarterback for Carolina?
But then again,
the Jets.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. That's it. The Bucs have $65 million over the cap. They can't get anybody. They can't get Derek Carr. They can't get a big free agent quarterback.
If those
No.
two are your options, I don't know. I think I'd roll the dice with Kyle Trask.
That's exactly what they're leaning on. They're going to
And
bring
then
somebody in competition-wise for him, and I think Kyle Trask will be the starting quarterback come week 1.
and if that's the case, then maybe Bijan Robinson isn't a bad pick. But I don't know. The problem with a running back is that
It all depends on the quarterback position in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
What is Tampa going to do for a quarterback? Because if they go out and draft Bijan Robinson, but they don't have a quarterback, Bijan Robinson's going to get killed.
if you're expecting 30 carries a game,
Forget it.
Well, the new offensive coordinator too wants to focus on the run, so you're going to have Robinson and White carrying a lot of the offense because you're going to take early on. You're going to take the pressure off Kyle Trask because if he gets into a throwing motion like Brady did, there's going to be a lot of turnovers. So,
but I'm gonna put 11 in the box and dare him to throw.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with Bijan.
Yeah.
He's a damn good receiver. No, he's got the legs. He can do it with his legs. He can do it with his arms, and he's got the speed. He gets out behind the DB, and he's gone. He's gone for 20, 30, 40 yards.
It's a risk.
Exactly. It's one of those damn if you do, damn if you don't situations.
Right. If they don't pick him
up, if you don't pick him up, but he goes to a rival team that you play and then Bijan burns you, you sit there thinking, oh shoot, I should have picked him up in the draft.
Who's 20? Who's got 20?
Seattle.
Okay. Who do they have going 20?
Jackson Smith.
In Jigba.
Okay.
Yeah.
So glad he's gone. Enjoy Seattle, bud.
Right. Number 21 is the Chargers, and they got Quentin Johnson from TCU.
Wide receiver out of TCU. Okay.
Baltimore Ravens is 22nd. Brian Branch, Alabama. Cornerback. But here's the issue with the Ravens. Quarterback.
God, yeah.
They need to resign Lamar Jackson.
Yes, they do.
Got to.
If they don't sign Lamar Jackson, they're screwed.
Completely.
I don't think Brett Hundley is the answer.
They need to focus on getting Lamar Jackson re-signed. That should be the number one priority right now.
Well, let's get the damn thing otherwise until that's done.
Yeah.
They're $100 million difference right now.
And they need to come to some kind of negotiation, because if Lamar walks, Ravens are done.
Brett Hundley is not the answer. I mean, he's okay, but he's not Lamar, and that's the problem.
That's not going to help you.
No. The number 23 is the Minnesota Vikings. They got the Nate Banks coming out of Maryland. He's a cornerback.
He's good.
Number 24 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brian Breesy, Clemson defensive tackle.
Okay. Don't hate it. They needed help on the D-line, so.
Yeah.
Number 25 is the New York Giants, and they take in Jalen Hyatt. Coming in from Tennessee, he's a wide receiver. Now, again, Brett, you follow the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Hyatt's ready for the NFL?
What school is he from?
Tennessee.
What position does he play?
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think he is. Depends on what kind of offense he's running and who you say was going to pick him up.
The Giants.
They need a receiver.
Daniel Jones needs help. He would fit well in that offense. But then again, Barkley's a free agent too. Speaking of signing running backs and signing big players. He's a free agent right now too. So are they going to bring him back? So I mean, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Daniel Jones needs help. So
this offseason is going to shake up to be one of the most explosive offseasons we've seen in years.
Very active.
Yeah, it has.
And we can sit here and predict on what they're going to do. We can sit and say, well, the Giants going to resign Barkley.
Yeah,
we don't know.
I think they will.
But we do know for a fact, if the Ravens don't re-sign Lamar, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're done.
Or nothing here. Oh.
Number 26 is the Cowboys. Now, Georgia Tech is in the SEC, correct?
Yes, SEC.
Yes. SEC.
They got the Cowboys picking up Keon White. He's an edge.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the ACC. Georgia Tech's in the ACC.
I think we got Parsons. Parsons is a damn good defensive player. I think with him and Parsons on White on one end and Parsons on the other end, I think our pass rush would be set.
Which would allow you to play a lot more coverage.
Yep.
Yes.
And also, then again, we would have Lawrence in the mix too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that scared me last season was our secondary.
But if you have two edge rushers, you can play a lot more coverage. You can play a lot more. You can play
more zone or play
more zone and more quarters. You play quarters and not have to try and not send that fifth guy.
So
or if you do send that fifth guy, he's going to be free.
Do I like the pick? I don't know anything about the young man. But
I don't know too much about him.
I say let's draft him and let's sign him to what's the rookie contract? 2 years?
Yes.
4 years.
4 years. 4 years.
For the fifth-year
option. And a fifth-year option.
See what happens if he doesn't work out within 4 years. We can always trade him or let him walk in free agency.
Right, and I think picking 26, you're starting to get to the point where where expectations are beginning to lower. You're not picking in the top 50.
No, go ahead, Adam.
You're not picking in the top 15, and you're not a team that's falling apart like a St. Louis. Jesus in LA or Tampa Bay. A team that's coming unglued because so many of the guys that are that you brought in over the last couple of years to win championships are either aging out or just way too much money. So I don't mind. I want to say desperation, but a gamble-ish pick like the kid out of Georgia Tech. I don't need it. I'm not in love with it. I mean, it's hard to say because like we said, the draft is a crapshoot, right? You can be hot. You be hot, rolling sevens, but the next time, the table can be hot. Everybody rolling sevens, right? But the first time the dice come to you, and you roll double one, you roll snake eyes, and you're a bum, Yeah.
And also, with the kind of defensive coordinator that Dallas has and Quinn, I think he can make White pretty good.
Well, I've seen what he's done with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a monster. So give him and with 26, you're not expecting the guy to come out and be a beast. Yeah. He's got a longer leash than a guy picked at 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that taking more of a measured risk, right? this is not a guy that's we're not picking a guy that's a projected third rounder in the top 10. So I don't disagree with the move.
And also Dan Quinn took our defense from last and from last place, damn near last place, up to a top 15 defense.
And you give him more weapons? Shit.
And you give him more weapons like White, and then you have Parsons, Lawrence, Barr.
It just complements what you can. It just
that's going to be a scary defense.
Yeah.
Well,
number 27 is the Buffalo Bills, and they picking up Osiris Torrance.
Uh-huh.
Do you know much about him, Brad? He's from
Where's
Florida.
he from?
Florida.
What position does he play?
Inside linebacker.
He was one of the better defensive players the Gators had this year. Problem with the Gators this year is they gave up too many big plays. When I was at the USF game, they gave up too many big plays, and they when they didn't need to give them up. So, but yeah, I mean, Florida's known for their defense.
Actually,
again, like Adam said, when you pick, towards the bottom of the draft, you don't have to come out and be a stud, and you're hoping he comes out as a stud, but you don't have to be. Not a lot of pressure on him.
I'm sorry, he plays inside offensive line.
Oh, okay, so he's an offensive lineman. Okay, yeah.
My bad.
Again, a good, a solid pick that can be a borderline starter. A fringe starter. A guy that you can put in put on special teams. A guy that you can put on the practice squad. A guy that can sit on the bench for 2 years, learn the offense, learn the blocking scheme. Get in the game late in blowouts. A guy that you can press into service. Offensive linemen are a premium, and a talented offensive lineman that can cover. An interior lineman that can play both sides of the line is an absolute must-have for an NFL offense. So I think that if he's still available. And you said it was Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Buffalo will be well served to snag up an offensive lineman. The only other position that I would think might be a pressing need for Buffalo is free safety. And with the uncertainty of Hamlin and whether he can come back and play, whether he wants to play again, if they're going to allow him to play again, I think safety would be the other position that I would look at drafting in the first round. Other than Buffalo doesn't have huge deficiencies anywhere on their team, so a value pick late in the first round, yeah, I'm here for it.
Number 28 is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they taken Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, tight end.
Again, a value pick. It's Cincinnati doesn't have huge deficiencies other than maybe corner. They need to replace Eli Apple with an actual bushel of apples because I think they'd be better off with that. But other than that, no huge deficiencies. So give me a value pick. Give me a tight end that good hands that I can trust to as a second tight end that can when my number one tight end needs a blow. Then yeah, definitely.
Number 29 is New Orleans Saints through San Francisco, through Miami and Denver because of the Sean Payton deal and all that. They picking up Zay Flowers from Boston College. He's a wide receiver.
New Orleans is in a tough position right now because if they get Derek Carr, and this is under the proviso that they get Derek Carr, I think that's a great pick. Gives Derek Carr someone to throw the ball to with Chris Olave already there. Again, a high value pick in the late in the first round. I'm here for it all day.
Number 30 is Eagles. They picking up Felix. I'm not even going to say his last name. He's from Kansas State. He's an edge.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe.
Speaking of the Eagles, they need to get out in front of to get Jalen Hurts signed to a big boy contract and not have a Lamar Jackson situation in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Agree. I want to give. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say I want to see one
name that Brad should know. Nolan Smith. Coming out of Georgia, edge rusher, and they got him going to Kansas City.
Another defensive stud on that defense. Yeah, that's fine.
Just to follow up on Jalen Hurts, I want to see one more year from him before I offer him a huge contract.
Me too.
I want to see one more year, to make sure that this year wasn't a fluke. Let's get one more year under your belt. Let's make sure that this wasn't a one and done kind of deal. We want to make sure he's not going to regress.
The only thing that scares me right now about the Jalen Hurts situation, okay, was it actually the offensive coordinator or was it Jalen?
Why not both?
Yeah.
Both. But are we going to see the real Jalen this year with Steve leaving?
Well,
with Steve, the OC leaving, how will Jalen be this coming season?
And that's where I'm at. I agree with you 100%. Let's get one more year and make sure that it's not a fluke. Let's make sure that it was really Jalen and it wasn't just a good system. And let's see what happens. Because if this next year he has another great year, an MVP caliber year, I'm gonna offer him, $600, $700, $800 million for 10 years. I'm gonna put big money out there for him because honestly, at this point, I agree with Brad. I've sat here. I'm not disagreeing with you, Brad. I agree that they need to get him locked up, but I want to be on the safe side. So
exactly.
Maybe not a whole year. I mean, not 8, 10 games into the year. If he is as consistently productive as he was this past year, yeah, I'm gonna throw big money at him and lock him up.
Exactly. Because if you're gonna throw that kind of money at a player, you want to make sure that he's legit.
I just don't want the Lamar Jackson thing. That's the reason I brought the Jalen Hurts thing up because if they wait, and let's say he does have another good year, or he regresses just a little bit, and they let him go into his 5th-year option, they offer him the 5th year, then he doesn't work out, then he has a great season. Now they don't have the cap space to sign him. Well, now you're SOL. But again, you're right. You may need to see him for a half a season to prove that it wasn't a fluke. I don't think it is a fluke. I think he's a good player.
No.
And also,
is this his 4th year already?
Yeah, he's coming up. Yeah, this would be his 4th year coming up.
When the hell did that happen?
Yeah. He went from Alabama to Oklahoma, and then he got drafted.
This is the end of his rookie contract.
Yep.
Okay. I thought he was only a third. I thought this was his 3rd year.
Nope, this is year 4.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I still stand by what I said.
I think there's, again, like I said, this offseason is going to be explosive. There's going to be a lot of moving and shaking and dealing and willing going on.
Yes.
It's going to be, well, I can give you that for that. What would you give me for a player like, let's say, Zeke? What would you give me for a player like for Zeke? I am so glad I am not a general manager of an NFL football team or an owner of an NFL football team. Because I tell you right now, you see this right here? You see this bottle? You see how big this bottle is? That's how big of a bottle of Tylenol I would have sitting beside me.
It's Pepto.
Yeah.
And Pepto too.
Okay.
Well, watch the Kevin Costner movie. Watch the Kevin Costner movie. The draft day. Watch that movie with Kevin Costner. How he deals with trades and stuff on draft day.
I seen it. He's like
general manager.
Like when it first comes on, he's sitting there going. You can see him going.
Yeah. Same thing in Moneyball with Brad Pitt. Same thing. He's going. He loses 3 great players for the A's and has to come up with something to fix it, and it's right away.
Yeah.
But can you imagine all the NFL owners and general managers sitting there in the offseason going, "Ooh, Musa."
There's only 31. There's only 31 general managers in the NFL. One team doesn't have a GM. So.
Right.
Well, but you know what I mean? They're sitting there trying to calm down. Be like, okay, we losing him. We got to replace him. Okay, but who do we replace him with? You know.
No. There are 31 GMs and 1 God Emperor. So.
Correct.
Yes.
And
don't worry, he'll tell you.
I know who you're talking about when you say Emperor. I know who you're talking about, and that's Jerry Jones.
No GM. Right. So there you go.
Don't worry, he'll tell you.
Yes.
But
can't wait till draft night to see him in the draft room because he's in there with everybody.
Oh boy.
I'm doing this again, having his notes out like this and going, look what we doing, showing it to the camera and everything.
Yeah.
Like Jerry, you freaking idiot!
Moron.
Don't be doing that because these other teams are gonna go out and get them just so you don't get them.
Yeah, that's why the Eagles took God, who was it a couple of years ago now?
Incoming.
It's a receiver.
Other way around. The Eagles wanted CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys up the draft and took him. Yeah, the Eagles needed a wide receiver. The Cowboys traded up with the team that was picking in front of the Eagles and took their pick. So,
yeah,
Jim, I'm gonna hop off here. So I'll see you guys.
Yeah, same here.
I'm fixing to end this so we can jump over. So I will see you over there, Brad.